he said, his voice low and a little ragged. I looked up, chewing on my lip. Weary? Understatement of the decade. Last night I had been given a poison that caused temporary paralysis, and in that state I had to ask Abel to claim me for the first time so I could heal and strengthen him. Clearly, it worked. He was being really badass. I felt like a shell of myself. I realized that all I wanted to do was fall into Forrest's arms. But I had this new, annoyingly mature voice in my head now. I realized what I really was, what being the priestess meant. If we actually succeeded, I would be as famous as an empress, and even more of a beacon of hope. If the stories I'd heard were true, I would open the gates to the realm of dragons, freeing the world of what we had long thought were just mindless monsters. They were actually dragons, corrupted by the barrier the elders had created centuries ago in order to gain control of the realm. No one knew what had become of the world of dragons in all of those centuries the barriers had existed. So I didn't know what I'd find. I didn't know what problems would arise. But I knew that everyone would want the person who opened the gate to also fix all those problems. The priestess was once the arbiter between humans and dragons. If I didn't learn to appear brave, even when I was actually terrified, if I didn't learn to act like a great priestess, even if I felt like a clueless, barely adult. Suddenly, Forrest's arms were around me, and I clung to him. I dug my fingers into his shirt, and I pressed my forehead against his chest so hard I might have knocked him off balance if he weren't already built like a tree. I swallowed back tears. I'm weary. Yeah. Let's take a walk. We're on a boat. He waved toward the mast. I didn't say a long walk, but let's look ahead. At sea, looking ahead and behind are the same, I said. Nah, it's different. I let him take my hand in his. I put my free hand against his arm. More than anything, I felt a deep sense of relief that he wasn't angry at me for having sex with Abel. I knew he must be having feelings about it, but if he had to choke them back into the deepest pit of his stomach, well, good, because I couldn't help it if I tried. The sea was relatively calm, and we had a good wind, from what I could tell. I didn't know anything about ships. My hometown was in the mountains, and we didn't have bodies of water larger than creeks up there. A few crew members were moving around doing, ship stuff. I don't know, things with ropes. All around us, as far as the eye could see, in every direction, was just water. It was exciting to me, despite all my fears. I've never been on a ship before, I said. It feels like adventure. Yes, Forrest agreed. It does. He walked up to the prow. The front of the ship was cutting through the waves, churning the water, giving me a sense of great speed. I stumbled a little as I took a step. Sorry, I'm still kind of messed up from last night. Phoebe. His tone was serious. I looked up. He dropped to one knee. It was easier for me to look him in the eye now. You are my priestess, he said, and the first mission I was originally tasked with is now complete. I found my 4 guardians, but you never expected one of them would be Abel. No. He took a deep breath, clenching my hands tightly. But I know you have no choice, and I love you. I will perform my duty. When we reach the gate, I will perform the Grand Quintet with Abel. Well, I should hope so. I frowned. I know this is hard for you, Forrest, but Abel's not the man you think he is. Who is he, then? He sounded reluctant. I've known him longer than...